Good Tuesday morning, friends. It is 10:17. I'm meteorologist Ashley Ruiz with the latest on Tropical Storm Zeta. It weakened because it made landfall late last night along the Yucatan Peninsula. So the core of it just moved into the Gulf of Mexico. You can kind of see it fanning outward. So it really got disturbed and disrupted over the Yucatan Peninsula. Now has winds of 65 miles per hour moving to the northwest at 14 miles per hour. So it is going to enter a more favorable environment for some development. So it is still expected to become a hurricane once again in the Gulf of Mexico. So I will show you the latest track. Here's a look from the National Hurricane Center at 10 o'clock this morning. So it's going to continue its northwesterly movement, and it's going to regain its strength. The National Hurricane Center is saying it will this evening with winds of 80 miles per hour and then eventually turn due north and then move to the northeast. And that is going to occur when it starts to interact with the cold front, an incoming cold front and an upper level trough that is going to be digging to our west. So the current forecast track is a little more to the east than where it was previously of the 4 a.m. advisory. I do not want you to let your guard down by any means, because even if it tracked, let's say 20 miles to the west, our impacts could certainly increase. If it moves more along the western side of this cone, some of our areas would see a direct hit. So we could easily see our impacts increase significantly. Now, if it moves more to the eastern side of this cone, then that means it may clip the mouth of the Mississippi River and head straight toward Mobile Bay. That's also a possibility. So if it takes the current path, it could start to aim toward Grand Isle or even Plaquemines Parish, and then eventually move through St. Bernard Parish, maybe clipping the New Orleans metro, and then taking aim toward Biloxi, Pascagoula, and then just near the southwest Alabama area. Not just that, it's going to accelerate to the northeast. So it's going to move very quickly, which is a good thing, but also this means that the wind is going to penetrate farther inland, spread inland, and that's likely going to cause some power outages well inland. So damages may be pretty significant even inland as it weakens. Again, going to accelerate to the northeast. Forecast to make landfall tomorrow evening. So preparations need to be finalized, possibly as a strong Cat 1 hurricane. The National Hurricane Center is showing 80 miles per hour. Some models are showing potentially a little stronger. So we always say plan for a category higher than forecast so you're not caught off guard. The models have been pretty locked in with the southeast Louisiana landfall. Now, some of the outliers are showing maybe more of a westerly track. Some are showing more of an easterly track. So if you live in southeast Louisiana all the way to the Florida Panhandle, you need to be preparing, because impacts are going to be felt well away from the center as well, along and east of the center. And we have warnings, hurricane warnings in effect. You may have received alerts on your phone this morning, the WIA alerts. So we have hurricane warnings in effect from Terrebonne Parish, all of southeast Louisiana, and that includes areas to the Mississippi-Alabama state line as well. And this includes Livingston Parish, Southern Tangipahoa Parish as well, St. Tammany Parish, and then of course Ascension and Assumption as well. So within our areas that are in the red, we could see power outages, even if it tracks more, say, on the eastern side. The reason why we are under hurricane warning for some of these areas is to account for potential shifts, and you could see some higher wind gusts than, say, East Baton Rouge Parish. I still do think East Baton Rouge Parish could see a few wind gusts of 40 to 50 miles per hour, especially if you live along I-55, then you could see some higher wind gust. With that being said, this is a product from the National Hurricane Center. This is tropical storm force wind probabilities, and it has been lowered just a little bit for the Baton Rouge area, up from 29% down to around 21%. And of course, the farther southeast you are, and again, the farther east you are and near the coast, you're going to have a higher percentage of feeling the tropical storm force winds. We have storm surge warnings in effect, so this includes our tidal lakes, 2 to 4 feet of inundation. Some of the highest inundation may be of around 5 to 8 feet, which you can see, and that includes portions of the Mississippi Gulf Coast, 4 to 6 feet near Port Fourchon, and even Vermilion Bay, 2 to 4 feet. So that's going to push the water, so we'll see some coastal flooding from that. Again, thankfully, this is going to be a fast-moving system, but storm surge will still be an issue. As for potential rainfall estimates, this is based on the National Hurricane Center's track. Notice this very distinct swath of these warm colors. That is 2 to 4 inches of rain or locally higher amounts. So not saying that for sure Biloxi will feel 2 to 4 inches. You could easily double or triple those amounts if you get caught under some of these heavier rain bands as well. So we'll have to watch for where banding sets up. But if it tracks more to the west, then our rainfall estimates are going to go up. But on average, 1 to 3. That's going to be our number. But again, locally higher amounts will be possible because we could start to feel some of these rain bands later today. And I put the National Hurricane Center's track on there just for you. So again, impacts are going to, with it bending to the northeast, impacts are going to be spread into Mississippi, Alabama, and into northwest Florida, and even inland areas. Inland Alabama and Mississippi, Georgia, all these areas are going to feel effects from Zeta. As for rainfall totals, this is some of our model guidance. Let me make sure I feel like that is a little on the low side, but this is just some of our models for the Baton Rouge area. The GFS, one of the higher amounts right now. Again, locally higher amounts are going to be a good possibility. As for the threat for tornadoes, being on the west side potentially of this storm, we're not going to feel or see the greatest impacts from some tornadic weather. However, all the way from the Mississippi, Alabama, Northwest Florida Gulf Coast, that's where we'll have a better shot. Being in that northeastern quadrant, you're going to have a better shot to see some tornadoes. But again, that's also going to be a threat for the Mississippi Gulf Coast and southeast Louisiana Wednesday and Wednesday night. This is our in-house model, the graph. This particular model, it's a newer one, but it did an excellent job with Sally. It did an excellent job with Laura, Delta. So just going to see if it pans out for Zeta as well. This is showing some outer rain bands pushing ashore through the day today. Some of this moisture is going to get pulled to the north ahead of Zeta. And so these showers are going to be very squally. We could see some gusty wind, heavy rain, so tropical downpours through off and on through the day and the night. Not going to rain all day or all night, but we'll see breaks here and there. Here's 3 a.m., possibly an outer rain band moving ashore. We'll have to watch for those as well, see where they set up. Could have to watch for some rotation within some of those as well. Here is 4:30 tomorrow, and I can zoom out just so we can get a feel. Here is where it's showing Zeta, just pretty much south of Terrebonne Parish and a little closer toward Lower Jefferson as well, and Lafourche Parish. So it's showing potentially a landfall maybe near Grand Isle, Port Fourchon, and notice to our west. Here's a line of showers and thunderstorms. That is going to be the cold front coming in as well. I'm not saying it's exactly going to be at this line. I'm just trying to give you guys an idea of how close it is going to be. So we're going to be dealing with rain moving in from the west, triggered by the cold front, and then we're going to be dealing with Zeta as well. This particular model is showing some of those dark reds and maroon colors. That's indicating some of that northern eye wall, perhaps, just rocking New Orleans, Belle Chase, and some of far southeastern Louisiana areas. And then heading into 8:30, again, showing this outer, the northern eye wall, potentially penetrating areas in St. Tammany Parish near Slidell and the Mississippi Gulf Coast. And again, check out to the west. You see a line of showers moving in from the west as well. And then it kind of pinwheels off to the northeast, and that's going to bring impacts. Alabama, northwest Florida, and then inland areas as well. Here's Thursday at 1:30. Notice we're starting to see some clearing. Cold front has passed through the area, and that's going to continue to force it off to the northeast, and we're going to have much cooler air settle in behind that front. So the key is, when does the front move into the state? That is really going to have to be something to watch, because it's going to push it to the northeast. We also have to watch the trough, of course, as well. But either way, we're going to have to see the timing with the front. If the front slows down, then it could move more to the west. If it speeds up, could push it more to the east. So again, it's really at the point where as we get closer to the event, it's going to be more of a nowcasting instead of forecasting. So then we could have some wraparound moisture, but Thursday is going to be spectacular if you like cooler weather. Going to be brisk. Temperatures, we may hit our high in the overnight hours, and then temperatures are likely not going to get out of the 60s on Thursday. So it is going to be quite chilly, and then we're waking up to the 40s on Friday morning. So it is going to be quite chilly. So this is based off of its current track. If it changes, if it shifts more to the west, then these impacts will increase. If it shifts more to the east, these impacts are going to decrease. So as of right now, as I mentioned, the highest totals are going to be near and east of the center of where Zeta moves. The preliminary estimates of 1 to 3 inches, maybe some locally higher amounts. The Baton Rouge Metro could see some gusts within these rain bands and such, 40 to 50 miles per hour. These are gusts, not sustained winds. Now, again, if it moves more to the west, then we could be talking sustained. But as of right now, I'm not expecting sustained tropical storm force winds here, but we could see some gust. Tropical storm force winds along the coast. If you have friends that live in the New Orleans metro, they could easily feel hurricane force winds and some higher gusts as well. So that is something pretty concerning. The spin-up tornadoes cannot be ruled out, but the environment will be not as favorable for tornadoes as our east will, being on the west side, and as I mentioned, 2 to 4 feet of inundation. So what you can do now, obviously, is check back in with us frequently. We'll have more updates right here on brproud.com, on our social media sites, and if you go on our free BR Proud app, again, you'll find the latest on Zeta. You'll just have to, all of it will be updated. I'm working on the story to update it, but we update it with the latest information. Jasmine, Jesse, and myself, we all update it. Secure your Halloween outdoor decorations today. If not today, make sure they're done by Wednesday morning, because again, winds are going to pick up. Still going to see some breezy and windy conditions, especially if you live closer to the coast and closer toward the New Orleans metro, then you will have some higher winds. Make sure you have multiple ways to receive alerts. If any other alerts are issued, walk your yard, clear your storm drains, gutters, and if you haven't already, replenish items in the hurricane kit. I know we've been in the cone 7 times so far this season. Hopefully this is the last time, but make sure all those items are fully stocked and prepare for potentially some power outages. We're still pretty vulnerable from Delta, and so it might not take much to lose power. So again, just make sure you're ready to go for you, your family, and your pets. And as I mentioned, download the free BR Proud app. So Thursday, here's a look at our temperature trend. This is using model data, so keep in mind these numbers may certainly not be this low. Thursday morning, we may not be in the lower 50s, but it's just showing our temperature trend throughout the day may not get out of the 60s. And so with a wind out of the northwest, it's going to feel even cooler than that. So Thursday is going to be sweater weather, jacket weather, all of that. And same for Friday and into Halloween. So in case you're wondering, trick-or-treat time for the kiddos may have temperatures in the lower 60s. In East Baton Rouge Parish, I believe trick-or-treat time is 6 to 8 p.m. on Saturday. And so temperatures will be in the 60s. And during the day, if you're going to go to any pumpkin patches or any other Halloween festivities, haunted houses or anything, temperatures will only be in the low 70s. So most of the day will be in the 60s. And at night, temperatures will fall into the 50s. So let me show you the 7-day forecast just so you can get, if you're a visual person just like I am, you can kind of get a feel of what's to come. So today, not going to rain all day. We'll see some tropical rains off and on, possibly more so this afternoon, and especially this evening and tonight. Tomorrow, Zeta will make landfall somewhere, possibly along the Louisiana or Mississippi Gulf Coast. It's it's becoming increasingly likely that it's going to make landfall along the Louisiana, southeast Louisiana coast. And then, so we hit a high near 80, may hit our high on Thursday early in the day. We have to see how quickly that front actually moves in, but expect brisk conditions Thursday when you're waking up and then throughout the day as well. Friday, another day in the 60s, and we'll be waking up to the 40s, and then again, Halloween looking great and cool if you like cool weather. So the silver lining with this, if you do lose power, or if your friends or family in New Orleans, trust me, I have friends and family in New Orleans as well, you lose power anywhere. At least there's much better weather ahead. It's not going to be sweltering. Temperatures are going to be cool in the morning, chilly in the morning, and then cool during the day. And we should stay rain-free. And don't forget, Saturday night into Sunday morning, we fall back. So daylight saving comes to an end, and we get an extra hour of sleep or an extra hour of Halloween. So if you look at it that way. And not just that, there's a full moon on Halloween. It's the second full moon of the month, so that is a blue moon. So I know 2020's been weird, and we have a full moon, a hurricane, Halloween, and daylight saving all in the same week, and a winter storm to our northwest in Texas, Oklahoma, the plains. Let me show you guys before I send you off, just in case you were wondering where the cold front is, just to our west. Lubbock, Texas, 24 degrees, whereas Houston, 61, 58 even in Shreveport. So here's a look. Winter storm, yes, to our west. Check out all that pink, all the whites and purples that you see. That's indicating some wintry mix and some snow. So a winter storm to our northwest, and then a tropical storm to our southeast. So again, we will be here every step of the way. If you are just joining us and you have any questions, comments, concerns, I will be more than happy to answer them. Here's a look at the current forecast path. So if you live in southeast Louisiana, again, even here in the Baton Rouge Metro, plan for a hurricane strike because it can still move to the west of this cone, and 36 hours out, it's still about, on average, the forecast error could be 40 to 50, maybe 60 miles. So keep that in mind. Do not let your guard down, even though right now we are on the west side of the storm. And impacts are going to be felt along the Mississippi, Alabama, and northwest Florida Gulf Coast as well. So that's going to do it for us. We'll have an intermediate advisory from the National Hurricane Center at 1 o'clock, and then a new track at 4 o'clock. So again, go ahead and download the free BR Proud app to get you ahead of the storm. That's always the best tool to have. You'll get storm alerts. You can track the storms yourself, zoom into the radar. You can track Zeta. I knew it was going to happen. I finally did it. I confused them. It's been a long season, you guys. You can track Zeta yourself, and then so you can stay ahead of the game. So again, we're going to wrap things up. Stay weather aware. Just check back in with us. No need to panic. Just be prepared. I know we've been prepared pretty well this season. So let's keep with it. And again, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, feel free to reach out to me. You can email me, aruez@brproud.com, or you can find me on Facebook and Twitter. So that's going to do it for us. Again, stay weather aware. We'll see you soon.